So the first on the list of our panelists is Alhaji Mohammed Danjuma, the National Coordinator of the NCRP. Please can we invite you to take one of the seats? The next of our panelists is Dr. Chukwuka Monye, the CEO of EcoTV UK Limited. Please can you welcome him warmly? And then we have representatives of the Lynchard Basin Commission. We have Mr. Hyacinth Banseka, who is the Technical Director of the Lynchard Basin Commission. He has told me that he doesn't want to sit. He doesn't want to sit here, so he will respond from where he is. And then we have Mr. Aminu Magaji, who is the head of division Natural Resources Management, Lynchard Basin Commission. You are specially invited to this program. Specially welcome to as one of our panelists. But if you want to sit there, that's okay. And then we have my humble self. My name is Dr. Charles Aholu. I am the CEO of Alpha Scores Limited, which is a UK company, and we are technical partners to NICRA. So let me also take the pleasure of welcoming the ED of NICRA, my own good friend, Mr. Ali Gedam. So you're specially recognized, sir. We will welcome Chukwuka Monye to talk about the new ideas that we're pursuing in conjunction with NICRA, which is circularity. So he will be coming to educate us more on circularity. Let's welcome Chukwuka, Dr. Chukwuka Monye.
So when NICRA brought us on board, NICRA had some concerns. I think the first was they wanted to offer value for money, right, for the funders. So for every dollar they spent, they want to have multiplier effects in terms of return on investment. I think another concern for NICRA was they were very keen on ensuring that they were resilient in the situation where there were a decrease in funding. They were still going to be able to offer value to end users and of course continue to expand the scope of programs that they offer to end users. So what we did when we came on board was to do a clustering of NICRA's main programs. So as we saw in the video, NICRA has 4 programs. You have the Vote and Cook Stove program, you have the tree planting program, you also have the solar mining program, and of course you have the farmers database program. And then we identified 2 clusters for NICRA. The first set of activities we identified were capable of generating carbon credits. So for instance, the Cook Stove program, you have a lot of latitude to generate credits when you move households from firewood to cook stoves and then LPG. The tree planting program, when it was done on such large scales, so expanded to include things like mangrove. We also have capabilities of generating carbon credits through sequestration. And then, of course, the third one was the solar mining project, which was also capable of generating carbon credits. Now, individuals cannot go with carbon credits, definitely. But one of the things we saw was that NICRA could act as an aggregator, helping to explore the operationalization of these carbon credits in the voluntary carbon markets. The second cluster was the young farmers portal, the database project. Now, for NICRA, we were very concerned about 2 things. One was the exposure of farmers to climate risks. So, for instance, if you look at the use of Earth observation data for helping to determine the impact of weather on things like yield for farmers, who face like water stress, trying to determine droughts or changing weather conditions and how that overall affects farmers. So that was the first thing NICRA was interested in, trying to use Earth observation data. How do we build resilience in farms through physical risk? The second was transition risk. So for for farmers that export, young farmers that export. So take that, for instance, the carbon border tax that's been introduced by the EU. So the first phase came up, it's launched 1st of October 2023. And so for 3 years, certain importers into the EU have to report on the carbon footprint, the scope 3 emissions of their value chain. And then from 1st of October 2026, those particular importers now have to pay for the offsetting of those particular carbon emissions. Now, this is the problem with carbon border tax. It effectively kills the intention of the clean development mechanism. The idea of CDM was to ensure that Annex 1 countries could offshore their investments in, clean energy projects in non-Annex 1 countries. Now, by bringing carbon border tax where the EU, for instance, is forcing those particular importers in those particular sectors to pay for the offsetting using carbon prices that are equivalent to what is obtainable in the EU. It effectively forces those particular companies to make the investments locally. So NICRA was interested in ensuring that for farmers that exported, they were able to remain competitive. So in terms of offsetting, there was some system locally that allowed for those farmers to get acclimatized towards the carbon price, for instance, in the EU, and of course, over time, be able to achieve some form of stabilization and get the end users to get acclimatized to their new pricing. And so 2 things came up. The first was trying to establish circularity among these 2 clusters. So we found that, of course, we could take carbon credits operationalized from the first cluster and feed that into the second cluster where we offset the carbon footprints for farmers. So we already have Earth observation data, and of course we have clever analytics to be able to compute the carbon footprint of these farms. We are able to go on a voluntary carbon market, a registry, for instance, like Vera, get those credits verified, validated, certified, and of course used to offset the footprint. The second was trying to build an ecosystem, and this was very tricky. What we're trying to do here is NICRA doesn't want to sell carbon credits to off-takers. And the reason is, think of carbon credits like a life insurance. So let's say I have a life insurance in the US of $100,000. I am able to take a personal loan against my life insurance. So my life insurance still runs, but then I'm able to take a loan against that life insurance. In Nigeria, I think what was common before CBN banned out was where people put dollars in their domiciliary accounts and then take Naira loans against the dollar. So because of the tailwind risk in the position of Naira, they are able to enjoy that upside benefit. So what we tried to do was to create an ecosystem for NICRA. What we are doing here is you have something like a credit union, somewhere in between, and then they act as the aggregators for the host of these carbon credits. And then what they simply do is that they borrow using those carbon credits as collateral, right? So they borrow loans, and then they are able to dispense these loans to the farmers to, for instance, improve their farmsteads or engage in activities that are more sustainable. And then they use the collateral to offset any risk. So basically what we try to do is come up with very clever hedging scheme for them to ensure that. Now the long-term goal of that is that NICRA wants to engineer some form of internal sustainability, where even if you have the crazy funders coming in, you're still able to generate that ecosystem, and of course continue to sustain their activities. So that's what we've been trying to achieve with NICRA, and the whole idea here is ensuring that at the end of the day, irrespective of how things turn out, NICRA is able to remain operational.